It's all right. Let me start again. All right. It's about finding a network of like-minded people.
It was always my goal to make $1 million. Because the harder you work, you're going to get noticed.
I want to be the master of my own destiny. Welcome to the second episode of the J&B Podcast. In front of me, I have Junius Tjeje. I hope I pronounced that one right. So actually, I met Junius. I call him Kojun because he's like an older brother. I met him at the church, actually. He's a very nice guy. He taught me a lot in terms of entrepreneurship, but also about personal development, which is why I think he's the perfect guest for us today. So, Ko, do you want to introduce yourself real quickly?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me here, Joel and James&Brothers team.
Yeah.
My name is Junius, and I met you as well in church, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm working in real estate at the moment. A lot of my business dealing with real estate, and we have also a development property arms in it. That's who I am.
Okay, cool. So when did you first come to Australia?
I came to Australia back in 2003. I remember, I think it was June. Okay. 2003, came here as a student, as you know, with everyone else. Came here as a student, started my foundation in RMIT, took a double degree in RMIT as well. For 5 years, did engineering and also business. I didn't want to do that before. I actually wanted to do mechanical engineering, but instead, because I think at that time, mechanical engineering, you have to go to Bandura, and then the business school is in CBD.
Okay.
It's pretty much impossible for me to have mechanical and business because it took about 40 minutes for me to go from Bandura to CBD. So that's why I moved it to computer system engineering.
Okay. So you studied engineering, yeah?
Yeah, I did engineering. I mean, whatever that I'm doing now, it got no relation to it anyway. But look, what I learned from engineering is you learn about how solving problem. It's the way your brain works, the rewired where it's about problem solving. So which I can still use it, that sort of mentality and mindset which I learned from in university.
Okay, cool. So I was gonna say you don't really look like the engineer type. Yeah, you don't. You look more like the real estate type. Yeah. So when you first came to Australia, man, did you get like a part-time job or something, or?
Yeah. So I actually met my business partner now from a part-time job. So I think at that time he opened his new Korean restaurant, and then my sister happened to know a guy that know him. It was during holiday. Kids during holiday, we've got nothing to do, so we start looking for something to do.
Yeah.
And that's when I applied for a job in Korean restaurant, and then that's when I first met him. But not only that, I also actually used to work at KFC.
Yeah.
I worked at KFC for a long time, for 5 years, and I really enjoyed working on those two different places. One is a restaurant, the other one is KFC, because look, I think I always tell all the younger people to always give it a go in working in this fast food industry chain, because you're gonna learn a lot of stuff from there, especially like time management. You gotta come on time, and in KFC fast food industry, right? You gotta serve the customer quick, accurate. They have this mystery customer coming over there. Management wise, from the people, I also learned a lot of stuff over there during my 5 years. Yeah, in Melbourne. Melbourne, yeah. KFC in Melbourne. So I first worked in Crown, and then after that, the same owner opened a new shop in Melbourne Central. So they moved me to Melbourne Central because the new store that just opened. So I learned a lot of stuff. Even becoming one of the shift supervisor in KFC. So I learned about stocking, closing at the end of the day, ordering, inventory system.
Yeah, because I also worked in Nando's for a very long period of time. And the funny thing about hospitality is a lot of people, people look down on it, because but for me, honestly, I'm very grateful for my experience in hospitality. I learned so much things.
Right.
I know you being in KFC for 5 years, I'm sure you learn a lot of stuff. What's the one thing you took home from your time there?
In KFC?
Yeah.
customer service.
Yeah.
As you all know, you all been in reception, right? Where you got customers swearing at you, but you just handle it with a smile, asking things nicely. But I learned one thing is, where you have to be firm as well. There's some people that try to abuse you because you...
The customers?
Customers,
Yeah.
Try to abuse you because you're just too nice. And sometimes they lie to you. We have
That,
customer that say
all the
that, well, I
time.
order
All the
chips,
time.
but it never comes. And you learn to be firm, as in, okay, you order chips. When did you remember which register? Because we can check it from the camera and from the order, right?
Yeah.
And they just walk away and run. So I learned a lot of stuff from there. But things that I can really pick is about customer service.
Customer service.
Which in real estate, that's what it's all about.
It's very
customer
similar, huh?
service. Yeah, it's dealing
Yeah.
with people. Interaction with people.
You have any funny memories, at least?
But in KFC,
Yeah.
yeah. KFC at Crown last time. I mean, they
Yeah.
no longer have that. But at Crown last time, they used to have a bar, like a
Yeah.
club and bar. The one in the old Crown, the
Yeah.
old food court. So it's always a big fight. Always a
Yeah.
big fight. The people throwing burger back at us and stuff. Yeah, that's probably funny memory. Yeah.
Oh, you got into a fight with the customer?
Not
went crazy
me
at you
personally,
guys.
not me personally, but one
Yeah.
of my team member, one of our colleagues
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there. Somebody ordered burger. I don't know. It could be, I don't know, maybe not to their satisfaction or something. But the customer was a bit drunk as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
big fight. We've got security guy coming in.
Yeah,
It's something to, something that you remember.
yeah. But that happens all the time, right? In the city, I'm guessing. You get a lot of these drunk people.
Not in
come to
CBD.
KFC.
When I work in Melbourne Central, because we close at around 9 o'clock, I think last time, 9 or 10, can't remember.
Okay.
So you don't get people drunk and coming in. And on weekend, we close
Yeah.
at 6 or 7. 7 on Saturday and 6 on Sunday. So we don't get drunk people coming in.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
not too bad. Well, do you miss hospitality? Do you ever miss it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes when you're just sitting down, especially with if I've got so much
Yeah.
stress at work, sometimes I miss the
Yeah.
KFC time where you work hard over there,
Yeah.
you had fun with a team member, and then you just go home and forget the rest of the things. Finish for the day, exactly. Finish for the day. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. And I know before you told me that you did a restaurant once with Ivan, right? So tell us about that. Why did you guys decide to do that business, and what happened?
Well, Ivan started the restaurant first.
Yeah.
I came in just to help. As a student, I enjoy cooking.
Yeah.
I don't want to make a career out of it.
This was after KFC, by the way, right?
No, during KFC time.
Oh, during, okay.
Because during KFC time, sometimes I only got 1 or 2 shifts a week,
Yeah.
which is only about 8 hours. So I've still got a few hours left. So sometimes I work in a restaurant where I enjoy cooking. In KFC, you don't really cook because you've got the procedure already set up. This is how you cook the chicken. You can't change it. But in the restaurant, obviously, you get to experience new things in cooking, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So that's how I think during holiday as well, I went in their restaurant, dropped in my resume. That's when I first met Ivan.
Yeah.
But we sold that restaurant back in 2008. Back in 2008, we sold that restaurant. So I didn't own the restaurant. Ivan owned the restaurant.
Okay.
I came and helped over there.
Oh, okay. Okay, very cool.
Korean. So we were one of the very first Korean restaurant in CBD. Actually, at that time you don't see a lot of Korean restaurant, and it's a barbecue, grill stuff. So
Did you have Koreans in the business though? Because it's just like Indonesian guys running it.
where in the restaurant?
In the restaurant, yeah.
Oh yeah, full Korean.
You did.
Full Korean.
Okay.
I mean, one of the owner of the business is a Korean as well. Before we bought it off from them, it's Korean. The one in Carnegie. So we partner up with them and open the one in CBD.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. So I know you're in real estate at the moment. I know you got a few things on the side as well. Would you ever be interested in going back to hospitality? Maybe as an owner, an investor.
As an investor, maybe,
Or a
but to
chef.
run it as an operator, maybe not.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love cooking, but to operate a restaurant, I think it's a different ball game.
It is. Yeah.
And you gotta wake up in the morning, prepare your sauce, and then deal with stuff, inventory system, council, health and safety and stuff. And every few years you gotta upgrade this and that. Yeah, but I really enjoy in the restaurant. I think the atmosphere. It's one of my dream actually to just have. I don't know, either a small restaurant or a cafe where you can just bring people in. If you want to meet your client, and you can just go over there and just to sit down. That's why I mean, in the future, if there's an opportunity for it, Maybe I'll just become a investor, but not an operator.
Oh,
for sure.
okay. Yeah. I see. I mean, hospitality is good though. Like, there's a lot of money in it, especially when you know how to do it right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Restaurant business is good. I mean, if
It's
you
just
if
quite difficult. to
it's
manage.
just
Yeah.
I believe I agree with you.
Yeah. So I know you studied engineering at the start, and now you're all the way in real estate. It's two different things. When did you realize that you didn't want to do engineering and you wanted to do real estate?
Okay, good questions. Because there is this moment in university when I realized that I do not want to do this all my life, because there's this final subject in university. So
Engineering, you mean?
Engineering, yeah, year 5.
Yeah.
So in my year 5, because with double degree, what happened is they put things all together from business subject and also engineering subject. They compress it all together to 5 years, because business is supposed to be 3 years, engineering is supposed to be 4 years. But when they compress it together, it becomes 5 years. So every semester I gotta do 6 subjects, while other people do 4 subjects. You know.
Yeah.
But there's this moment in my final year of uni where I have to do a project where I stay 3 days in the university. I slept in the university, didn't brush my teeth, didn't take a shower.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a group work. It's supposed to be 6 people,
Yeah.
but the one that works only 2, me and my other friend. You know?
Oh, okay.
And then I realized during that time, I said, no, I don't want to do this, because it's computer system engineering, so I do a lot of coding and programming as well. That's when I realized, look, I don't want to do this, because when you do coding and programming, you're dealing with a machine. So when things goes wrong, they only come out with one line saying that there is an error in the code. You just have to find it. You're talking to a computer, you know. It's different when you talk to people. So while on my other subject with business, I learned about dealing with people a lot. So during that time, I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna finish my uni, but I don't want to work in engineering. That's it.
But isn't that scary though? Because I know as an international student, your school fees is more expensive, and you obviously spent 5 years in Australia studying that one topic. I mean, and then so all of a sudden say, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to do something else. You're not a bit like scared?
Well, my parents pay for the for the school fee, obviously. I didn't pay it myself, but I think as a children, your parents pay for it. I think the least that I can do is finish it well, right?
Oh yeah, that's
so
true.
I finished it. I finished the whole thing. I mean, I've got the certificates, I've got the degree. There you go. I finish it. But I know that that's not something that I want to do with the rest of my life. And that's when I first also met with my business partner. That's when we start talking about, hey, let's create something together. Some things that, and we happen to be both like real estate, and we go into real estate. So I'll help him first in real estate before I join in to become a partner over there.
Oh, okay. I see. Very cool. How did your parents take it? Were they upset?
Okay.
Or
I mean,
they were okay?
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I think every man has his own way. And I've heard a lot of story as well where people study one thing but end up with another thing. I guess at the end of the day, it's you better chase your passion, like what you want to do, because you don't want to wake up one day 40 years from now then realize, like, what am I doing? You've got those 40 years just doing something that just because you've studied that and you gotta do that. I don't believe that's necessary. But me coming from an Asian background, especially Indonesia, parents where in our life when we grow up, we've been taught about there's only 2 careers in this world. Either you become a doctor or you become an engineer. That's how I.
Is that why you did engineering? Or?
Yeah, anyway. Well, I love
okay.
math and stuff. I love math. I love physics. So I think that's the most reasonable way to go to engineering rather than become a doctor. Because I don't love biology and stuff. I don't like it. But that's how I was being brought up. So that's why at that time the choice is you want to become a doctor or you want to become an engineer. So for me, it makes sense to become an engineer. But as I said to you just now, my final year, I realized I don't want to deal with machine. I rather deal with people, and real estate happened to be dealing with people.
Okay, that's good, man. That's good. So, When you did meet with your future business partner, where did the idea of real estate come from?
So I guess with my business partner, I've got two business partners, which is one Ivan and one is Bruce. They're much older than me. One of the things that I learned is you gotta have a mentor, that teach you.
Yeah, definitely.
So Ivan is about 8 years older than me. He's like a brother to me. So we went to business before where he learned things the hard way, put it that way. So he always tell me that I fell so you don't have to fall. Right?
Yeah.
So he's been teaching me about this stuff. So they started this real estate business first before I joined in a few months later on.
Yeah.
Then from there, long story short, we become partners together in the business.
Oh, okay, cool, man. I know you've been in Xynergy for 10 years now, right?
Going 11. Going 11 years.
Going 11. Yeah. What do you enjoy, I guess, most about what you do?
There's a few things that I enjoy in real estate. Number one is dealing with people.
Yeah.
Dealing with my vendor, dealing with my landlords, dealing with my purchaser and buyer. People have different background, have different story. When you meet with them, you learn new things, you learn new stuff, and then you learn about their culture, their background as well. That always amazes me. That's number one. Number two, it's not only from the outside, but also from the inside, where I get to meet with a lot of my team member. They coming again. My team member, we've got from different background. We've got the Australian, we've got the Korean, we've got the Chinese, so we've got the Indonesian as well. And sometimes to see them grow when they first coming into our office, sometimes starting as an intern, sometimes start as an assistant, and then as the year goes by, we train them, we invest in them, and we see them grow. That's something. There's a joy in it when you see it as an employer as well. And like today, we just had one of our marketing manager. We had a farewell lunch with her because she's leaving to another company, but she live in good terms. We had a farewell lunch. We got a celebration together with her, and to see them grow, because when she first started, she was like a marketing assistant. Until to the point that she started handling bigger tasks, that she handled pretty much the whole marketing for our office, not only in South Yara but also in Oakley and Altona as well. And she started growing and start to learn about making decisions. Like for me, it's such a personal joy.
So you're satisfied basically in watching the growth in people.
Yes.
That's good. So how about, let's go back to when you first started the business. I mean, because when I did some research on Xynergy, and I'm speaking with you, speaking with Ivan from church, you guys seem like a great company. But when you started, I mean, was everything so smooth? What challenges did you face when you first?
Well, when we first started, I guess you have to know, we started in an apartment, in one of the room in the apartment. It's a 3-bedroom apartment, so one of the rooms not being used, so that become one of our office. From there, we moved to a slightly bigger office, which is in Chinatown. It's about 30 square meter, but we fit in like 8 people over there, in a 30 square meter office. The office, we put a partition in the office, which one of our church friend helps us put that. It's Patrick, helps us put in the partition. So when the guest comes in, at least there's a partition, so it doesn't look straight away into the office. Small sofa, we still have that sofa until now. And then we have those 2 tables from IKEA, big long tables that we use. And in each table, we had 4 people sitting on it, sometimes even 5 people. We still have that table until now. We put it in our Oakley office. We call that the legendary table, because that table has been with us since pretty much day one, And we were joking with my partner, say, hey, if we got a museum, we're gonna put this table in the museum. But when you ask, of course, in any business, things doesn't always go smooth. Like back in 2010 and 11, market was really bad, really slow. We had our challenges as well, up and down, and you just gotta persevere through it. One of the things that I learned during that time, it's you have to know the reason why you're gonna be in the business, because I think that's your basic foundation of when things go smooth, everything goes nice, don't have any problem. But when things goes hard, like in anything, that's when we were challenged to just walk away, or you want to continue doing this. Even in relationships, it's the same thing. So if you know why you want to be in the business, and during that time when struggle comes, you gotta remember, like, okay, why do I want to be in this business? I think that's what keeps me strong and what keep us strong as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Go honestly, can I get some advice from you, man?
Yeah.
Like,
if I can share something, yeah, why not?
I started this business, right, with Nathan and Nick, and there's some awesome guys. Like, I mean, I love Nick, I love Nathan.
Yeah.
Everything runs smoothly, but oftentimes we always argue, we always fight about everything, about buying equipment, about just some office banter. All right, and I want to ask, when you started your business, and I know when you start a business, it's quite difficult because you got restricted capital, and there's a lot of challenges that you have to face. How do you deal when Bruce or Ivan don't agree with you, or you guys have some kind of dispute? How do you resolve it, and how do you manage it, and how do you keep friendship and professionalism separate?
Yeah. Look, I think we've been blessed. Like me, Bruce, and Ivan, we have the same. I think people might not agree with me, but I believe this is very important. That we share the same value.
Yep.
That's what's really important, because yes, there will be arguments. Do I always agree with them? No. We argue all the time, sometimes about things, but we have our own value, which we all share the same value. We understand about what's important and what's not important, and we also respect each other authority. So in the business, we try to separate who do what.
Yep.
So in some decision, for example, we know, let's say he gets to decide on this. So we as the business partner, our job is to give feedback and support. If the decision if I don't agree with the decision, but I'm committed to support him in that decision, and that's why for me, to have my business partner to share the same faith, the same value, I think for me that's important, because it just makes things easier.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. And if you ask me technicality and how we do this, I guess you gotta respect each other authority.
Yeah.
Because I believe in your business, like you got Nick, you got Nathan, and you. Everyone works differently. I mean, that's the reason you're in partner. In partner, you fill in each other weaknesses. So if Nathan's job is to buy gear or equipment, you gotta support him and believe in what he thinks that's the right gear or equipment. Yes, you can give feedback, but at the end of the day, he makes the decision.
Yeah. Did you hear that? See? All right. Anyways, so I mean, of course, me and Nathan, and Nick, we always argue and everything, but obviously we obviously have our good moments too. Like I remember when we got our first client, I remember when we got our first pay as well, and we were over the moon. What was your first sales experience like?
My first sales is through a friend. I still remember talking with him, driving him all the way to some suburbs, and then went back to the office. I still trying to close the deal, and then I still have to go to his place at around 6:30, 7 o'clock. By the time I go to his place, like his home, and then we start discussion about things, and then I bring the contract of sale, because I'm confident I think I can close this. So bring the contract of sale, and long story short, we got the contract signed. I still remember, I think I finished around 8:30. I give my business partner a call. Yes, there you go, close it. We done that, It's a great feeling, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, as you said, it's over the moon, because it's your first sales.
Did you party?
You always remember your first.
Yeah. Did you party, bro?
No, I didn't party, but I still remember after that I went to Ivan's house, and we just had a good discussion about it, share the story and how I closed this first deal.
Yeah. I want to ask, bro. Ivan, right? He's the nicest guy ever, right? And whenever I see him at church, he's always so nice to me. Like, he's such a cool guy. Like, I'd love to work with him. Has he ever cracked off at you before, man? I'm just curious, just out of my own curiosity.
What do you mean, like?
June, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. Get out of here,
Well, maybe not in that sense, but
Yeah.
we all have our responsibility. You know, the
Yeah.
things that we made mistake, and
Mhm.
we lovingly discipline one another. Sometimes he made a mistake, it's vice versa. You know.
Yeah.
But as a partner, that's why, you know, I mean, you're here to fill in my weaknesses, but as a person, we all not perfect. You know, there are times when that happen, but we just be firm, and either he tells me that or I tells him that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Next thing I want to ask, man. I know in business things sometimes don't go so smooth. Sometimes you might have a dodgy staff or a dodgy customer. Have you ever been cheated before? Have you ever been burnt before by a staff or an ex-staff or a customer? And how do you handle such things?
Yeah, obviously in our business, I mean, it's been going 11 years. We have people that taking advantage of us, of our kindness. That happens sometimes. Customer, sometimes our internal team member. But I always believe this. All right, this is what I believe. You just have to do things right. Doesn't matter what people's perspective or people's opinion or how people treats you. It doesn't change the fact that as a person, we just have to do things right. Even to my customer, you know, there's an incident where there's this incident where this customer is supposed to get a $20,000 rebate, okay, from the developer. But in order to get that, you gotta have one of these form, like a rebate form, to be signed. Somehow, one of our business partner forgot to get that signed. So when it comes to settlement and stuff, and we ask the developer, hey, he's supposed to get a $20,000 rebate, isn't it? And then developer coming to us, well, you didn't get that form signed, so we're not gonna pay that $20,000. From our perspective, it's whoa, hang on. Is it entirely our fault? Maybe not, because the solicitor's job is to get that done as well, isn't it? But we believe as a company, because we offer this product with a $20,000 rebate, we forgot about it, but we end up pay the whole $20,000 rebate from our own pocket to the customer, and that customer until now it's still our good customer, you know, and that's what I believe. You know, you just have to do things right. That's why I believe how can we be here today is because I mean by the grace of God, but we also do things that is right. You know, we don't do dodgy stuff and things like that. I don't know about other agency. We always be honest with the vendor. If we can't sell it, we will tell them. We're not gonna try to win a listing and just say, hey, you want $1 million? Okay, I'll get $1 million.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing I want to ask, whenever I see you, like you're always so confident, you know. Like me, I film podcasts. I did a couple of vlogs, but every time before I get on the camera, I always get a bit nervous, you know. I don't want to look clumsy. I don't want to look stupid. But whenever I see you, you're always just so confident. Is that something that you learn, or is it something that you're just born with?
No, I believe everything you can learn. Leadership and stuff. No one born with it. If people say they're born with it, well, congratulations. But I believe those sort of things you can be trained. I'm a shy person. When I was a little kid, I'm very shy. But as I grow up, I came to Australia when I was 18 years old. Have to do everything by yourself. You don't have a mate in here, not like back in my country. And even my first seminar, you know, like property investment seminar, I get to stand up and speak to an audience of people. I think that throughout this past 10 and 11 years, I start training all those confidence. Is it? And I think that's what builds me.
Oh, very cool, man. So I want to ask, what apart from real estate, what other side hustles do you have going on at the moment?
Well, so far everything is always connected to real estate. Back in real estate, either it's in buying, selling, property management, and even now we start doing property development. But we as a company, me and Ivan, we have our mother company. We call it Navanti. So under Navanti, they have some subsidiary. I mean, we have subsidiary from many different industries, but the one that I'm focusing on, it's the real estate industry. So at the moment, we've got real estate arms and also property development arms. That's what I'm focusing on at the moment, because you only got 24 hours a day.
Yep.
Yeah, you only got 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter how many businesses that you're gonna have. The time does not change. you still have 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it comes down to how do you want to manage your time? Is it 12 hours a day for work? Obviously, you gotta eat, you gotta go to the toilet, you gotta sleep, you gotta build relationship with friends, with people, with your family. Very important. I recently just got married, so gotta juggle with my time. So I try to always keep it in a balance between all those 24 hours, because otherwise you could be way towards one another, and that's very dangerous.
Yeah. I also agree. I think time management is important towards anything you do. Yeah, time management. Okay, so I know that you seem like a busy guy. You always got a lot of things going on. I know you're a big time gamer as well. You got PS4, you got that PC and stuff.
Yeah.
Whether you're proud of it or not, I don't know. But anyways, apart from gaming, what do you do to, I guess, unwind from such a hectic day? Or
well, when you go home and then start to spend time with your wife, your family, that's one of the things that you just get to unwind. And gaming is also one. But throughout the weekend, obviously involved as well in my church, in life group ministry, and also in Sunday school ministry. I think that's what keep it in the balance, not only in the world out there, but also spiritually.
Yeah. So another thing I want to talk about, Cole, what I really respect about you is you always, I guess, not just from going to church with you, you always interact with everybody. You're always nice with everyone, and you always make time for people. And I always feel like relationships is really important, not just in business but outside of business. I remember that one time just before you go to Indonesia, you're like, all right, boys, I want to meet every single one of you before I go. And I admired how you would take a lot of your time out to spend time with your friends and stuff like that. So when you're at work, and because you're the boss, obviously there's a perception of, Junius is the boss, I got to impress him, but up here he's a jerk, he doesn't pay me enough or whatever. How do you maintain good relationships with staff? Basically, people, all right, say a staff that doesn't like you, a staff that particularly doesn't really enjoy working with you or doesn't agree with you, how do you, instead of kicking them out or of sacking them, how do you build a better relationship for the benefit of yourself and for them?
Well, with my team, I mean, the way we see them is not just resources, that you can, like, tools that you just use and after you finish you throw it away. That's not the way I see them. That's why we call when people call it staff or employee, I call my team our team member, because we're a team together. And I treat them like my second family. Anyway, we go hang out. I mean, it's not only at work, but after work we also go hang out. We recently had a trip in Bali together as a whole team. I think it's about 20-something odd people just from Saudi office. Oakley time maybe another time, and we've got Altona maybe there's another time. But we can't just all the whole office close, Our vendors and landlords will start, shouting, where are you guys? So we take turns. But we just had time in Bali. We had a team building activity over there because I really believe this. Okay, now this is my belief. All right. Other people might not agree with me, but because I'm a Christian, so I believe that we are created. Now we are created fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay, so I believe that every person has potential to become great. It's just about where do you put them. So the same thing in the company. Sometimes we hire people. Yes, they sometimes maybe not performing in this area, but maybe because we put them wrong. Maybe we train them, or maybe it's the wrong industry for them. Even when I send people off, we do an exit interview and stuff. The way we do it is not just because you suck or you bad, you're not worth it, and not that sort of, but because I believe that maybe in other places you can become better. If they can become better in other places, why not? Why do you want to keep them here? And if they is here with us, I gotta make sure that yes, we can improve them to become a better person. So that's what I believe. So there are some incident where we see one of our team member doesn't perform well in this area, so we try to find a way. We had a one-on-one with them. We had a KPI as well for each department, and we start in interviewing with them and said, look, do you want to try in a different position? Because I think, and we had that, I think you become better in this position. And from most of our team, either the one that's still with us or the one that's already left to a different place, or as in there are some that already created their own company. We still in a good terms with them, we had good contacts, we still hang out with them, and sometimes, as I said to you earlier, that it brings me personal joy to see them grow, not only in our place, but when they go outside as well, and they I see them grow, sometimes they create their own company, not necessarily real estate, but maybe because they are supposed to make that rather than in the real estate industry,
Yeah, that's true. All right, the next thing I wanted to ask, man, and we don't have to go too personal on this, bro, but I honestly, because during my time I work in Nando's, I work with my family, I work with my ex-girlfriend as well, and then now I'm working with Nathan. I know when you work with family or when you work with someone, it's always like gonna be personal arguments, right?
That's right.
I remember during my time at Nando's, if I work with Nathan, he would just be upset just because he saw me. I was working with my ex-girlfriend. She would kick off for no reason.
So try to keep it professional. Is that what you say?
How do you
keep it professional?
Yeah. So I think you work with your wife as well, right?
Yeah. Well, okay.
What's the struggles there?
Well, obviously, now with my wife, I think we have to get one thing straight first. With my wife, it's not that she's applying for a job and then I just put them in my company. No, it's actually the other way around. We were in need of a person at that time. So I'm not talking just me, but my other business partner as well. We kind of begged her to, hey, can you please help?
Yeah.
Because at that time we have one of our team member that have to take quite a long leave. And during that moment, it's not easy to just find a replacement for just a few months' work. So I came to my wife and said, hey, look, we really need your help. Do you mind quitting from your other job and help us? So she gets to help me now. Until when, I don't know. But I told her, look, at least for a year. Help me for at least a year, until we can find a replacement. So it's kind of the other way around, when there's things happen, you always remind me, hey, I come because of you, right? Not because I need the job, but because you are the one that begging me to come and help you. And yes, especially husband and wife, when there's things happening in the office, when you go home, for us, we tend not to discuss it. Things that happen in the office, we try to keep it professional. So that's why I try not to have any direct interaction with my wife in the office. What she does and the one what
so you obviously try to avoid her as much as possible.
It's in terms of interaction, in terms of work related ones. So I don't directly manage her. It makes things easier.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever you got problem at work, you never take it home. Never take it home.
Not as in like to her personally. When you're talking about,
I mean, if you have a quarrel at work and then it's
with her, right?
And then when you go home, it's like, oh, babe, let's forget about that. Or is it more
with
like,
her, right?
Get away from me? Yeah, with her.
No, not with her. Because as I said, I don't have a direct management with her. So anything that she does not really related to what I do.
That's good. Yeah.
That's I think one way to keep it separate.
Makes it easier for you, I guess.
So I never actually fight with her at work because of the thing that she does.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay, so next thing I want to ask you, bro, how do you stay motivated? So I know you've been doing this business for 11 years. I've never run a business for that long. For me, I've obviously set short-term and long-term goals. For you, now that you're almost going into 11 years, how do you keep yourself motivated or to reach the next level?
It's come back to what I said earlier at the beginning, to know why do you want to be in the business. The moments when struggle comes, in life, when you started a new thing, you're always excited with, the first maybe 3 months, the first year, you're very excited with stuff, and you will face struggle even in the first 3 months, but you're still excited with it. But the danger part is when you meet halfway, and in anything, when you created something in the beginning, you're excited for it. At the end, because you can see that it's starting to look the things that you wanted, and you become excited again. But the danger part is halfway. When you don't know when it's gonna end, when it's gonna finish, and that's when problem comes, then you start become demotivated, and maybe you know what, maybe I just close this and walk away. So I guess that's why it's very important to know why do you want to be in the business and for what reason. On the way here, I don't know why. I mean, on the way here, took me about an hour to come here, 45 minutes. Traffic. On the way here, I mean, I was just realizing where, okay, well, what do I want to do next? And because at the end of the day, every man will die. I think on the day of your funeral, no one's gonna remember how much dollar you have in your bank account. They don't care if you lose 10 million bucks 2 years ago or you make 100 million bucks last year. They're not gonna care about it. But when you are being laid down in a 1x2, I think that's the measurement of a coffin. I don't know, 1x2,
No
2x1, I don't know. But somewhere it's not gonna be big. You know, just to put you like smaller than a single bed, for sure. So I guess what sort of legacy you want to leave?
Yeah.
You know, what makes you motivated to get up in the morning? I think if it's just dollars, at what point? I mean, some people say your numbers. Yeah, is it 10 million? Is it 100 million? Because mostly it never ends. You start with 10, you want to grow to 20. You want to go to 20, you want to grow to 50. 50, it just never stops, right? But I think in life there is much more things than just that. Like for us, for me personally, I mean, because I want to leave something behind. I guess I don't know. I mean, my dream is obviously to build a tower. That's my dream.
Like literally?
Hey, tower, literally.
A tower?
But not only that, is to bringing an impact to the people around you. You know, to become a blessing to the people around you. I mean, that is why in our company, we working together with N Foundation. So N Foundation's task is to find people with potential, and then people who is come from a background that is less unfortunate.
Yeah.
So they cannot, because of financial issue, they cannot go to school. Let's say if they're a bright person, you know, very smart person, but just because of financial hardship, they cannot continue their school to high school or university.
Yeah.
So we're working together with them. And for every contract that we sign, we donated some part of it to this Foundation. And not only from our company, even me personally, we try to sponsor kids. You know, like compassion, but compassion is a bit different for us. For our focus is mostly to get people through school. You know, for them to be able to go to a higher degree in school, not just finish at high school and stop, but go to university. That's what gets me up in the morning. You know, like, okay, you know, there's kids need to be sponsored. That's one of our motivation.
Okay, very cool. If you don't mind, we'll just take like a quick 2-minute break.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Okay, so welcome back to the J&B Podcast. I'm here with Jun, or Junius. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is in my own personal life. There was a time when I was, I guess, not happy, or I was down. I felt a little bit lost, right? I didn't have a lot of direction, and I talked about it in the first podcast. And for me, the turning point was when I guess I started, you know, going to church, and I guess I made a network of friends, including yourself, and I guess you guys kind of motivated me and reminded me that, you know, I have a purpose in this world. And now I feel a lot more focused, I feel a lot more energized, and I feel like I have more direction, and it feels good. And I want to ask you, was there ever a turning point in your life? Was there an experience that shaped the person you are today?
Well, the turning point of my life, I never actually like really down and stuff. I never actually had that sort of things. But I think about 2012, where I think that's the moment where the turning point of my life, I would say, because that's when I met Christ. It changed my perspective in life as well. It changed the way I see people. You know, as I said earlier, that I see people differently. I see people that they're wonderful, they're great people. We just don't see them as tools. It's changed the way you see things in life. Put it that way, you know. I think that's what happened to me.
Okay, cool. And so, lastly, because I know that there's a lot of traffic on the way back, and I don't want to get you home too late. What's your advice for anyone who doesn't really have a lot of direction, anyone who wants to start a business, anyone watching this podcast who basically want to know where do they start? What's your advice for them?
Well, for everyone, I think that's a great journey if you want to open your business or even in anything. We always have two sides. Entrepreneurs or professional. I don't think that there's anything wrong with becoming professional or becoming entrepreneur. It's just your life calling. What do you want to do? I pray on it, obviously. But for those out there, my advice is do not underestimate small beginnings. Like whatever that you guys doing over here, do not underestimate it, because that's how we started. We started from something very small. I mentioned earlier that we started with one property management, literally just one. It's one of my friend property. They want me to lease it out, so it's in Burwood, so I get it to lease it out. But at the moment today, as of today, we've got about 2,500 property under our portfolio, under our management, with a total value, if we're talking about dollars figures, that's total value of more than 1.5 billion in terms of sales figure, which is, if I look back, it's such an achievement. And if I look back, sometimes I become emotional because we started with one, and become 2,500. That's because we just keep doing things right, and then we never underestimate a small beginning. I think that's advice I can say to every one of you guys. Keep pursuing, keep believing, and that's why it's very important. It's to believe and to also know the reason why you are in this business. Whatever industry there is, you gotta know why, the reason why. It's gotta be your foundation. It's gotta be your Bible. Put it that way.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Junius Tjeje. God, thank you so much for being on my podcast today. I know it took you ages to get here, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you coming down here doing this for us. And yeah, thank you so much. Is there any last thing you want to say, bro? Anything you want to ask me? Ask the boys?
Just thank you for the invite. It's been a pleasure, to share my life journey with you all, and I wish you all the best. And I can't wait to see many more of your podcasts, many more of your video, and to maybe next time you're gonna be in my seat and somebody else doing a podcast for you.
Amen. I hope for that. Okay, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. For more podcasts, or to watch our previous one, or just to keep up with us, you can follow us on Instagram at James&Brothers. You can also find us on Facebook at James&Brothers, and our website www.jamesandbrothers.com.au. And if you want to find Junius or any of the projects that he's up to, do you want to let people know where you can be found?
Sure, you can check our website on www.synergy.com.au. We're also on our Facebook, and also we have an Instagram. Just go into Xynergy Realty and just follow us over there. Any questions, feel free to drop a question. We'll be happy to answer it to you.
Thank you very much. See everybody later.